Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 2 Remastered. So guys, 115 speaking, and before I'll officially welcome you to what is my most beloved level of Tomb Raider 2, let's start things off with a bang, because a lot is riding on how this first combat encounter will turn out, okay? Okay, and one more Lara. You got this, girl. Nice. Let's see what Bartoli's henchmen have actually dropped. There should be a bundle with automatic pistols, ammo, and small medpack. Oh, very easy to miss, but easier to see in the original. Uzi clips. Awesome. So glad how this fight turned out. So we should now see 5 kills on screen. That means we are good to go to have an all kills playthrough. So let me welcome you to Barkhang Monastery. We are gonna get our hands on all 3 secrets, on all 49 goodies. If you've been around since times of the original release of Tomb Raider 2, you'll notice, hold on a sec, there used to be 44 goodies in Barkhang Monastery. That is true. In the remasters, however, there are 5 more supplies dropped by Bartoli's henchmen, whereas in the past they dropped nothing. Now they'll drop some extra ammo, which is surprising, and also 1 large medpack. I'm not sure if Saber have fixed this as a bug, and maybe the henchmen were supposed to drop these items already in the original release but didn't due to a bug, or if they just decided, you know what, players could probably use more supplies. I actually have no idea what the history behind this changes, but just know there are now 49 available in the remaster, which is always a positive change. Now, when it comes to kills, we'll achieve an absolutely ridiculous number of 52 kills. That is insane. That's more than the Opera House, and that's all because I made the choice to turn the monks hostile. So we'll be fighting 2 armies, Bartoli's henchmen and the Tibetan monks. By the way, in case you feel bad about this, don't. It's a very good practice for what will come up in New Game Plus, where the monks will be hostile from the get-go. Plus, these people have decided bombing a civilian vessel full of innocents is an okay course of action. So, I have no qualms about that, but I know some of you will, so you don't have to do it that way. There is also, there are going to be 4 achievements tied to this level that we're going to unlock, and one of them actually is all about making sure all the monks are fine and well and survive the level, okay? It's called The End Doesn't Justify the Means. I love the name, and I agree. But here's the thing about this achievement. There are a couple of fights, just like the one you've just seen, where you essentially can either target the monks or Bartoli's henchmen, but there is no lock-on cycle here, like in Tomb Raider 4 and 5. So Lara will pick her target randomly based on who's closest, and you must save your game and hope for the best that Lara will choose Bartoli's henchmen as a target, and also that they're not gonna have enough time to kill the monk with the lowest amount of health. There are going to be multiple battles like this throughout the level. You'll need to save your game before each one of them to ensure that no monks are hurt if you want to do it this way. Furthermore, there will be 2 battles happening off screen for which you will only see the outcome and scoop up any supplies. So that essentially means there are 2 battles for which you cannot influence the outcome in any shape or form because they happen off screen, and you can only hope for the best that the monks will win without any casualties, and that is absolutely infuriating. I unlocked this achievement the intended way back in PS4, but I would not recommend it. There is a much better way. And as entertaining as it could be to see me tackle 2 playthroughs of this amazing level in one video, I'd rather my guides always be more helpful than entertaining. It's a trade-off I'm willing to make. So instead, at the very end of the level, I'm gonna show you an easy way to unlock this achievement using a bit of a speedrunning technique, okay? So, enough talking. What we see here is sort of the gate to the monastery proper. Now, in the original, it was actually pretty damn dark and you could not see through the gate whatsoever, yeah? It was just this impassable wall. However, in the remasters, you get a sneak peek through the door panels and see a purple corridor. Now, we're never gonna find ourselves there on the other side because we're gonna reach the higher floor of this monastery, not the ground floor. This gate is never gonna open. Instead, we are supposed to use the ladder opposite the entrance. However, there's an achievement called Unexpected Visit, which asks us to get into the monastery without using the ladder, so that's exactly what I'm gonna show you right now, okay? So first of all, you can already hear it. Even though it sounds the same, this is not an eagle, okay? This is in fact, well, just an unimpressive looking raven. Look at that mouth agape. Okay, we need to capture this somehow. I would like to do that against the sky, but the remaining architecture does not allow me. You know what? Instead, let's take a picture of him as he's facing Lara down there. This is pretty damn funny. There we go. I think these guys take a little less beating than the hawks, but otherwise they're functionally the same, okay? So in order to get into the monastery without using the ladder, which by the way is also quicker than of course using the ladder, you need to make a particularly tricky jump. I do recommend saving here, but let's see if I'll be able to do it on sort of my first attempt. So we'll need to make an angled jump and turn Lara and then grab this ledge at the very last second, which... yeah, it can be fairly tricky. Oh, wasn't sure for a while if we're gonna make it. There we go. It takes a little bit of practice. And now you can shoot through each of... well, any of these windows. Oh, you don't have to. An unexpected visit. You use the tall ladder to enter the monastery. Okay, so you can just touch this tile, or perhaps this tile. You don't even need to shoot through the windows to unlock it. Interesting. Okay, well, let's keep the window shooting for later, because... if we go via the longer ladder path, we're actually going to encounter 2 more ravens that we can slaughter, which is always a lot of fun. But if you're not interested in the kills, you don't have to, and this trick is going to save you up some time. Also, keep that in mind for the time trial achievement, okay? So, let's make it up, and we'll be in a very close encounter with a raven, but as tempting as it might be to bring out your shotgun when facing these guys up close, I do not recommend it. Lara's shotgun pellets will always scatter and never hit flying enemies. It's kind of a mess, really. Awesome. I'm not sure if we managed to avoid getting bitten or not, but the damage we took is absolutely minimal, so I'm happy about that. And now, let's climb up here. And we'll trigger the appearance of another raven, okay? Now the raven will actually spawn from here, even though that corner is empty. You need to touch this tile, and all of a sudden, there it is, okay? Okay, Lara's aim is terrible with these things from even a medium amount of distance. Now, let's make a side flip, and this way, you'll safely end up grabbing the same ledge we grabbed just a while ago when using the non-ladder technique, okay? So these are the 2 different ways you can access the monastery, but only one of them will give you achievement. The other, you can come back to scoop in the kills, if you're so inclined, like myself. Ah, breakable windows, I love these. However, these are much tougher than the Bartoli windows in Venice. Oh, what? But I tried this before and we could never break them with... okay, there's gonna be another set of windows, behind which we'll see 2 gemstones, which are not gonna be breakable like this. That's very inconsistent. Now, before we start admiring how gorgeous this place is, let's just take care of this angry brother. I just find that so funny. Aye! Okay, so, first of all, just look how gorgeous this place is. There is a little tea set over here, bookshelves with who knows what kind of tomes of wisdom or herbal remedies, medicines, all sorts of stuff, actually giving depth this time. And of course a small, well, we would call it coffee table, I think they would call it a tea table, right? And we'll see more elements like these spread out across this gorgeous level. Now, one thing I'd like to talk about, all across the level will be these eyes of Buddha with his sort of 3rd inner eye, which is supposed to symbolize enlightenment. It's like he's watching and judging every step we take, and he knows Lara's been a bad girl killing all the monks. Honestly, it unnerves me a little. There is an achievement tied with these eyes that I'm going to talk about a bit later on, because some of these eyes, they'll be moving, which is a funny Easter egg, but also incredibly creepy in my opinion. Now, let me also rush the corner of this corridor over here, because there is a breakable window here too. And I'm not sure if it's possible. I'd like us to be the ones to break it. Yes, we did it. Sometimes this henchman will do it instead. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's gonna end up broken one way or another, but this rewarding warm fuzzy feeling if we're the ones to do it, you know what I mean? Okay, and keep in mind the grenades over here, very easy to miss. Alrighty then. Now, behind these hastily placed wooden planks is a so-called vault. because there will be a vault key we'll need to enter here just to get our hands on a different kind of key. It's a bit of an unnecessary detour. Also, there are these drums that I assume the monks are using for music and ceremonies, also lit candles, which I think is absolutely wonderful. They had this flashing effect in the original, which is just, I love this place so much. And actually on these lamps, we see the so-called endless knot. It's a Buddhist symbol, and it's sort of an optical illusion. This is not the best representation that we see in the game because you cannot make out the depth of the knot, but if you just search for any images of the endless knot, you'll be able to see an optical illusion where all its threads are in sort of in the background, but also foreground at the same time. It's a really fascinating image, and it's of religious significance. So we'll also see the endless knot on the banners over here. By the way, these banners annoy the living hell out of me because they prevent you from jumping across this corridor, because Lara will hit her head on them, which is pretty funny. And I guess they're supposed to represent that every action has a consequence, which is very fitting for a level where a single stray bullet can cause an entire army to start fighting you, right? Although in my case it was not a stray bullet, it was a well-placed grenade. Now, if you touch that tile, this henchman will appear, and let's try to kill him before the monk will. I'm still kind of amazed this guy managed to land a few shots at us. Oh, so incredibly annoying. Okay, so at least some supplies to make up for that. And now we need to figure out a way to open the grand door into the central part of the monastery. For that, we'll need the Great Hall key. It is actually nearby, and we'll just need to use a ladder to climb up and get our sneaky little hands on it, okay? Now, when we climb up, this is going to be one of my most favorite locations in this game, made even more beautiful in the remasters because of the drawing distance, which finally will cover the entire room, and it will end up being so much brighter. Before we'll get to admire it though, there is one angry monk. Salamai! Yeah, you'll also hear this in an FMV later on when we'll beat the Tibetan chapter of the game. So let me now perhaps officially welcome you to the glorious Barkhang Monastery. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. By the way, you might be thinking this is a depiction of Buddha, but that doesn't seem to be the case exactly. I think it's called Chenenzik or something like that. Sorry, I cannot pronounce it very well. It's a bit of a different idol. I'm gonna provide links to Archaeology of Tomb Raider before in the description, just in case you guys are interested. There's gonna be more information about the eyes of Buddha, about the endless knot, even Dharma Chakra wheel, which we're gonna find later on, all sorts of stuff in case you're interested. But my god, is this glorious. And this is what it looked like in the original, and I have to be honest, I prefer the original face. It looks incredibly judgmental, as it should, given what we're doing. Whereas this guy just looks happy, at peace. I guess this is more realistic, but I don't know, I prefer this face so much more. But the general area just looked much darker and colder in the original, but look how warm and welcoming it is in the remaster. I absolutely love this. Especially when you think about it that it's really cold outside in Tibet, but here at the monastery it is warm. And I think we almost dropped to our death. Oof. Okay, so let's pick up the main hall key. That's what it's called, right? Yep, correct. So we can now go down and open the door, but before that, it would be a good idea to explore that corridor. The entire gist of the level of Barkhang Monastery and why it's one of my most favorite levels is, you know how much I love central hubs with side dungeons? I guess Cistern or Palace Midas were great examples of that in Tomb Raider 1. We need to get our hands on 5 prayer wheels that are missing from this chamber, so that the doors marked with the seraph will open, revealing a shrine of seraph, okay? Maybe using the FOV we can zoom in. There's the receptacle where we need to put the seraph to open up the grand entrance to the catacombs of Talion. And Talion is the key to the door in the Great Wall of China that will open up the path to the Temple of Xi'an. It's a bit convoluted, granted, but the plot has been set up quite nicely so far. Now, there are going to be 5 side dungeons, each awarding us with 1 prayer wheel. You can absolutely beat the level with just 1 prayer wheel using sort of a speedrunning glitch, that I'm going to show you at the end of the level to unlock the end doesn't justify the means, but for now, we're going to enjoy all 5 challenges because they're grandiose. Okay, and now, let's be very careful, and you know what, let's not be greedy and resist the temptation of picking this box of flares up, because there's another boulder waiting for you if you decide to do that. Now, the choice is to go right or left. Right is actually going to serve as a way back, which is now blocked. So instead, let's go left first. And we are going to see the world's most evil jacuzzi. It is insane. So there is a pool of water, which will suck you in and not let you go until you drown. I do not understand what the gist of it is. We can also see this sort of endless stream popping in from here. Oh, they added an open sky, that's really nice. In the original it was just a dark corner. This is pretty cool. So, I don't know if this is where the monks train their bodies or something like that, but let's see if Lara's body is trained enough for this. Let's not swan dive in this case, and let's keep her angled at 45 degrees. That gives you the best resistance against currents like these, okay? Now this might have looked easy, but trust me, it is not. That current is absolutely insane. Oh, and over here, we'll get a sneak peek of one of the side dungeons I talked about, even though it's an outside area, okay? We're gonna find ourselves later on, and the path beyond this canyon and the rope bridge essentially leads to a small watchtower with a prayer wheel. But this is gonna be one of the final ones we're gonna get in this level. For now, let me light up a flare. Let's see if we can make a swan dive. No, not quite. This is very tough to pull off. Well, we got to enjoy hearing Lara scream, so pros and cons, I guess. Now be very careful, the darkness hides these panels. The second one you can just run through immediately, because the timing is perfect for that. The third one you'll have to stop at, however. And that's it, no biggie, right? By now you have experience with these coming from Tomb Raider 1, even though the timing is a bit different. Okay, and up the ladder we go. And here is going to be an interesting chamber where I would recommend you make a save in case you're going for the end doesn't justify the means achievement, because there is a monk who's particularly vulnerable due to an ambush from 2 of Bartoli's henchmen. Okay, so let's see how many shots we can land on this guy. Nice! We killed him and, well, we got barely bruised, I guess. Around the corner, this guy will appear. Oh! Damn it, I was trying to take picture, because this is technically a different enemy type. Whoa. Well, that... you know what? We might as well do this. Yeah, I was trying to take a bit of a different picture, but this still serves its purpose. So, these guys, actually, I never realized when tackling my original Let's Plays, but these are a different enemy type from those in the standard skiing masks. These have a cap and goggles. However, rather than carrying an automatic pistol, they carry a Uzi, just like Lara does. However, their moveset is different and they're way more dangerous. They have such a wide arc of gunfire. They can hit you even if you're, you know, at a right angle away from them. It's absolutely insane. They do these sweeping broad pistol strikes, or Uzi strikes, that are incredibly difficult to avoid and will just end up draining your health like nothing else in this game. Okay, and there's our first prayer wheel, yay! But of course, the moment you pick it up, something bad will happen. Well, this really is no biggie. You can just find a spot in between the flames and make a standing jump. Now let's move forward, make another standing jump, and there, it really couldn't be easier. I used to be so terrified of this room as a kid for whatever reason, but I've grown up, I became a better Tomb Raider, oh yes. Oh, by the way, there's a bit of a detail I've never really showed you on Lara's jacket. And that's that she has, well, a bunny holding a bomb and a carrot. So it really is a bomber jacket. I'm not sure what the insignia on her left shoulder is supposed to mean. Is it some Air Force symbol? I don't know. But this jacket was found on Marco Bartoli's airplane. Is it some, I don't know, Italian Air Force Corps or something like that? I truly have no idea. In the original, I would never have realized this is a rabbit with a bomb in its hand, but maybe that's what it was supposed to be. By the way, Lara's journey in Tomb Raider 2 and her bomber jacket, in case you've been around in 90s, you know what I'm talking about. It really reminds me of the LEGO Adventures, the Orient Expedition series, and Johnny Thunder was also rocking a bomber jacket, just like Lara is right now, also in Tibet, you know. I remember how much I loved this LEGO when I was a kid, also happening in Egypt, in Amazon, pretty much all the locations Lara is going into. And it was being released on the cusp of 90s and early 2000s, right? So I don't know why I feel like pointing it out. Each time I play Tomb Raider 2, that's what I'm thinking of. Although there is no Egypt or Amazon, but you get the drift. The Orient absolutely is. Okay. Now, let's climb up this ladder. And soon we are gonna approach an area where an off-screen battle is happening. Remember the ceiling where we picked up the Grand Hall key? Well, now when you cross this ladder's threshold, Bartoli's henchman will appear fighting a monk. Now thankfully we killed the monk, so we don't have to worry about Bartoli's henchman or the monk killing one another and stealing a kill away from us. But again, if you're going for the end doesn't justify the means achievement, all you can do essentially is get here and hope that this guy will be dead and the monk will be patrolling the area. Sometimes it can be the other way around and there's unfortunately nothing you can do to influence it, okay? By the way, even if the monk kills him, you can still pick up the large medpack, which, by the way, is a new item to the remasters, one of those 5 new ones dropped by Bartoli's henchmen, okay, that I talked about. That's gonna raise our pickup count from 44 to 45. So the large medpack is the first one. There are gonna be 4 others like that. Okay, now we still haven't saved the game because it's a long level and I don't want to save scam my way through. I still feel confident that we can do it without, for now, that is, not through the entire level. Oh no. I love that even the keyhole is judging us. I mean, just look at it. It's judging you, Lara, for all the blood on your hands. Oh man, I feel so bad. Now, immediately as you leave, be on the lookout for the monk on the left. And then 2 more will come. And this way, we have the situation firmly under control. The moment we cross a certain threshold away from this door, 3 of Bartoli's henchmen will appear, okay? Let me show you. There we go. Oh my God. Did you see the damage we took? I love that the rate of fire was bam, bam, bam. But essentially our health bar was just decreasing as if it was a non-stop full-on automatic fire. It is absolutely insane. Again, if you're trying to keep the monks alive, you will have to save here because lots of unpredictable stuff can happen. The 3 monks that we killed here will start running and engaging Bartoli's henchmen, and also a couple of monks, I think 2 of them from the purple corridor. So it will be 5 monks versus 3 henchmen, okay? Lots can go wrong. Another strategy to tackling these guys is to hide behind the corner and peek in, lob a grenade and hide again. That's another way you can do it, and sometimes I get better results using that, but sometimes I get killed outright. It's really unpredictable. Thankfully, I have no ambition about beating this level without using a medpack, okay? Now, on the side over here, there are 2 corridors. One on the left will actually lead to the top of the statue, but we only need to worry about that towards the end of the level, okay? Because we'll end up flushing water from an underwater cistern, but if we end up doing that, we'll block our access to the stone dragon of this level. We don't want to do that yet, okay? So let's go to the right one, and we enter another lovely, cozy room. And again, I'd recommend a grenade launcher because there is a particularly angry monk. We've absolutely defiled this holy place. Now, what we pick up in this shrine is strong room key. Oh, sorry, not the vault, strong room. That's the room with the boarded up planks that I showed you a while before, and what I presume was a shrine where the Seraph originally was. Honestly, I don't like what this looks like in the new graphics. It looks just AI upscaled, kind of messed up. This, to me, looked way better, and there was also this flashing light. In the remaster, it's just a constant glow. I don't know, I don't find that as interesting. And When Lara interrogated the monk in the diving area, he mentioned that the seraph was stolen by imbecile vagabonds centuries ago. I assume this is the shrine where the seraph originally was and where it was stolen from, okay? The monks didn't actually put it in its keyhole behind the large statue in the grand room because they wanted to keep the catacombs sealed. So I think this is just the shrine where they stored it. However, we do not get to put it back or anything like that. Nope, we need it to access the catacombs, okay? Now, you can also go towards the left path over here, but I do not recommend. It's a dead end, and you'll have to overcome 2 blade traps just to get a view of this area, which we can already do from the safety and comfort of our photo mode, okay? So the wooden fencing will prevent you from going further. But behind those windows, you can see 2 gemstones. We are actually going to reach this area from the top via accessing the monastery's rooftops, okay? And we're going to do that very soon. You can actually jump over these tables, but you cannot jump on them or even climb on them. It's a bit irritating that way. Yeah, these kind of dynamic objects and furniture, the engine didn't really know what to do with it. Okay, so you might be thinking, where's the strong room? I showed you some time ago when I called it the vault. It's in the tea room on the left of this purple corridor, okay? And, oh, whoa, I didn't see you there. It's a bit strange design because you use the key to unlock a door behind which there's just a key. There really is no reason why there just couldn't be a key to the rooftops immediately in the shrine with the seraph, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. We used the key to get a key. That's it. Rooftops key. Whereas we could have gotten the rooftops key pretty much immediately, in my opinion. Nevertheless, it's another room we can interact with, so there's that. And now, we have not yet checked this side chamber. So let's be real careful and run diagonally. It's really easy. There's so much leeway those 2 discs give you. We haven't seen this since the Great Wall of China, I think. They're only used in China and Tibet, interestingly enough. So, very region-specific. By the way, Buddha's judging us even from this door for all the monk killing we've did. Oh man, this makes me feel really nervous. And now, let me welcome you to one of my most favorite areas of this level, the rooftops. My god, they're beautiful. So this is what they look like in the original, still pretty great, but with the addition of Remastered, they added these domes. I think they're called stupa or something like that. These are peppered across this area just to give it a bit more geometry, right? Now, since these are visual only, as compared to the originals, you can kind of pass through them, right? They're not really there, they're just ornaments put there, and they make all the difference. And also with the Tibetan Foothills skybox, this is such a gorgeous, serene place, okay? Now, what I want to also draw your attention to are these creepy eyes. So Buddha is looking left and right. This is a bit of a funny Easter egg given by the developers, but this is also tied to an achievement whose name I can never ever remember. Now that you see it, surely you cannot blame me. But essentially it means that enlightenment coming from Buddha's teachings is the best, or something along those lines. It's kind of your common religious superiority. But yeah, so that's what it essentially means. And what you can do is draw a flare and unlock that achievement. It works here. I've tested this on Good Old Games. It works here. I tested it here on PS4 and PS5. However, there's another pair of these eyes a bit further down in the rooftops. And this is my last chance to test if it will unlock there. So if you forgive me, I'm not gonna do it quite yet. Oh, and by the way, these are deer statues. They're inspired by an original across monasteries in Tibet, but they're supposed to be, one is supposed to be male and another female, whereas here they look kind of both female, in my opinion. Anyhow, this is what they look like in the original. It's a night and day difference. I absolutely love these, but we're gonna get an even better shot of these cute deers. But first of all, let's overcome this naughty fire trap. This is what used to stress me out so much as a kid, and yet it's just so incredibly easy. Just make standing, not running, jumps, and well, congrats, you've done it. That's it. I mean, it's really no biggie. I remember this being much tougher than it actually is. Okay, let me make this level's first save here, as we're gonna get our hands on a grenade launcher, because there's gonna be another clash between the monks and Bartoli's henchmen. and we want to be the ones that will land all the kills, okay? Lots of unpredictability here, and besides, I really feel like we've earned the save. Okie dokie, so let's have the grenade launcher ready. Lara, you missed with a grenade? How the... Okay, our health cannot be seen. I have no qualms whatsoever about using a large medpack, considering what's up ahead. Okay, and for you, since you're all alone, I think I can just take you on the doozies. Wonderful. Okay, so there's that. We took some minor damage, but considering the health we had left, that was major damage, in fact. Again, the monks have dropped nothing, Bartoli's henchmen, however, did. Now, I talked about another place to unlock the achievement. There you can see 2 pairs of eyes. So what I want to know is if we can unlock it here. Oh no, so it doesn't work here nor here. Okay, interesting. So on our way back we will unlock the achievement from before the fire trap. That's a bit of a bummer, but it's interesting to see how it was developed, implemented by the devs, okay? Maybe they haven't noticed that the eyes are here. Who knows? So I guess you have 2 choices as opposed to 4 choices where to unlock the achievement. Yeah, very easy to miss this ladder with M16 ammo, and actually you get a sneak peek of an exterior area that we're gonna access from this window and then exit via the door over here. And this is gonna be the site of one of the most cinematic moments of Tomb Raider 2. It's gonna be glorious, especially if you're interested in all the kills. Okay, there's gonna be 2 trapdoors. And now we are finally on the other side of the leg blades trap with the Seraph Shrine, okay? So this is the real way to access it. And one of the reasons why I was saying, oh, the windows over here are much tougher than the Bartoli's ones in Opera House is, well, these ones, they cannot be broken with jumps. And yet the ones on the exterior of the monastery could have been. I'm not sure what causes this inconsistency. By the way, it's funny because these gemstones used to be very tiny in the original, and when putting them into a slot, it would always surprise me just how huge they are. This is something they have now fixed in the remaster, okay? Just look at that size difference. But yeah, what the remaster shows, that's how big they are once you actually put them into their own gem slot, okay? And the third trapdoor is just a way back onto the rooftops. So we'll use the same way we got here to exit. Now, what I'd really like would be to maybe beat the level without using any further medpacks, right? Because we already used a large one. I'm not sure how much of an ambitious goal that is, but I guess we'll see. And let's not forget to unlock the achievement. There we go. Anuttara-Samyak-Sambodhi, light a flare in front of the mystical eyes. Okay, so these 2 at least work, even though the ones further down the rooftops don't. Oh my god, I'm such a moron. I completely forgot to use the gemstone that we picked up. Oh, I'm so sorry, and get our hands on the prayer wheel. So, I'm very, very distracted thinking about this. And this, around the corner, is a place where we're actually gonna encounter the Dharma Chakra wheel. I mean, this is what they put in the original, this star with the seraph textures applied very awkwardly. They finally swapped it for the real thing in the remasters. I appreciate it so much. They did their research well, and it's also supposed to have 8 spokes. Again, if you want to learn a bit more about the significance of this wheel, then I'm leaving an article to Archaeology of Tomb Raider in the description. Absolutely amazing website, I cannot recommend it enough. And if we approach the gemstone slot between these 2 deer statues, the wheel will move further into the distance, which is actually one of the reasons why it's attached to a pole. In the original there was nothing, in the remaster they added a pole because it makes more sense like this, okay? But I found it funny how in the original, look at the tiny gemstone and look how big it turns out to be. It always caught me by surprise, okay? And now the wheel has moved further into the distance, so even the pole behind it is now shorter. It's just a lovely touch-up they did in the remaster. I truly appreciate moments like these. So let's pull out the block twice, okay? And behind it will be the second prayer wheel. So we'll still have 3 more to go. Did I mention this is a large level? I probably have, and I'm probably making it longer with all my talking, but my god, I'm having the time of my life. So, let's see. There we go. Oh, we have 2 prayer wheels, so it says so in the plural. Well, that makes me want to check if we'll be down to our last prayer wheel, if it will also say prayer wheels as opposed to prayer wheel. Interesting. It's probably only interesting for me and no one else, but I don't know. I love investigating that sort of stuff. Okay, so say goodbye to rooftops. I had an absolute blast, rooftops. Thank you very much, but it's time to go back down into the monastery. We caught some fresh air, but now it's time to warm ourselves up. Be careful never to hit Lara's head on those ledges, because that can set you back right into the trajectory of those blade wheels, okay? So, to the left is a path outside that will lead to the watchtower that we had a sneak peek from. For that we need to open this trapdoor with a key, okay? We can also already get our hands on these levels. Well, it really depends whether you consider it a first or final secret. I'm gonna get it now, just in case you're hurting for ammunition. This way you'll get it sooner, okay? So inside the Cherenzik statue, there is a golden dragon. A fitting place, I think. Covered by velvet and silks in beautiful red color. I just love it. It's almost like they were worshipping the dragon statue as well. Although it's more Chinese, not Tibetan, so I doubt that was the case, but there you have it. Okay, now on to second part of the monastery, this wooden corridor over here. There will be a couple of monks, very angry brothers, that we'll need to take care of and pacify before we do anything else. Oh, what? Lara, that was just wasteful. I mean, come on. And as we approach the other end of the corridor, there are going to be 2 more monks emerging. Normally, these guys would be a big help in a fight around the corner, but now, let's just trigger another one coming from this large pool area, okay? Oh, you can hear the footsteps very clearly. They'll even start swinging their spear before they'll even see Lara. They're just so bloodthirsty. Okie dokie. By the way, I haven't taken a picture of a monk yet, have I? My goodness, I need to remedy that. And I think I also forgot to take a picture of the snow scooter Bartoli's henchman. Ah, what a bummer. Okay. Doesn't matter. So, what I'm thinking is... yeah, I do want to tackle this as soon as possible. So, the moment you approach this side... There they are. How is that a conceivable angle for you to shoot me? I'll never understand. But okay, we only took some, well, relatively small damage. I was actually hoping to do this without taking any damage whatsoever. Okay. Now, over yonder over there is a trap gauntlet tied to an achievement that once completed successfully will lead us to the pool area over there where we can grab another secret, okay? Inside the trap gauntlet itself is the second secret, in the pool area is the third secret. Before that, however, I think I'd like to explore this part of the level, okay? So, first of all, this is purely optional. If you're not interested in getting all the pickups and the associated achievement, I would even recommend skip it because the rewards are truly meager. It's gonna be 1 box of automatic pistol clips and 2 bundles of harpoons, and like I said before, there's no point to ever use harpoon gun again after the wreck of the Maria Doria and Living Quarters levels, okay? So, in Living Quarters it helps for that 1 diver, but yeah, there's just really no need. Okay, there's a rhyme and reason to what I'm doing. I want to create a path for the block at the very top so we can get that out of the way. That's the real challenge, where the harpoons lie, bundled up together nicely. And there we go. So this is automatic pistol clips. And over here will be the harpoons. We have essentially also, as a consequence, blocked away our exit, which can be a bit annoying. Okay, and let's see, can we make a jump like this? Yay! Awesome. Okay, cool. So that's all the goodies over here. We'll be on our way back, and that's when I'll free up the exit, okay? Oh, never really noticed that these are supposed to be depictions of Buddha. Well, now it's very dark in the original. Oh, okay. I thought it's some flower ornament or something like that. And we get a sneak peek of the Corridor of Death from here, which I find really cool. By the way, the world's most just annoying, infuriating trap. Like, it's not here to kill you, it's just here to really inconvenience you, but also to give you a way out of it. I just find it funny, because it's not low enough to kill you with full health, so they needed to give you some way out in case you'll survive it and oversave, okay? And now, if you are not interested in all the kills, I suggest you run and run and run, break the glass, and go into the courtyard over yonder. If you are interested in all the kills, then have your grenade launcher ready and please save your game here. Actually, since we saved here, why not show you the intended way by the developers? This is such a cool moment, one of the most cinematic ones in the entire game and told purely by the gameplay. The moment you take another step here, 4 of Bartoli's henchmen will ambush you, 2 of them wielding the Uzi, the really powerful ones, okay? So you'll be naturally inclined to run towards the window. It will often be even broken for you by them, okay? Now, assuming the monks wouldn't be hostile, they'd be waiting around for you to open the door for them so that they can let loose on Bartoli's henchmen. Okay, now this is gonna be very hard. Oh, they calmed down for whatever reason. What? And now they're hostile again? Anywho, you'll open the door and you'll let loose Bartoli's henchmen and the monks as 2 armies upon one another, okay? So this is kind of the intended way. Again, if you don't care about all the kills, this is the way to go. However, if you care about the end doesn't justify the means achievement, you cannot do this. The monks are probably gonna get slaughtered. I think once it happened, then the monks survived and beat Bartoli's henchmen, but yeah, it's not going well, is it? Okay, I'm curious about the outcome of this battle. We're gonna reload anyway. Oh! Down to last man standing, okay? So this is an absolutely glorious chaos, and I'm so impressed that the engine at the time, in 1997, was able to pull this off. It's just glorious. Moments like these are what makes this the best level in my opinion. But let me show you sort of a more controlled way where you can get all the kills yourself, okay? Okay, we are back. Let's have the grenade launcher ready, Lara. Okay, we're down to half of our health somehow. Isn't that wonderful? And we used a lot of cover. They barely look at you and your health just goes down. Not that different from those on the snow scooters. But alas, this is the price we pay. Okay? So, let me see. I think the window will... Oh, it's not broken yet, so we'll have the others. And actually, from the safety of this ledge, you can take care of the monks. But if you're observant, you'll notice there's only 2 of them. The third one will actually only spawn like this. So Lara, ever the temptress with her sexy legs, will trigger him to come and then take care of him. Aye, exactly. My thoughts exactly. So there it is. The courtyard is now completely devoid of life. We'll open the door on our way back. Up here is actually a prayer wheel, okay? So now it's a series of couple of boring climbs and jumps, not much more to it. I'm gonna show you sort of the fastest way you can get around to do it, and that's why, you know, backflipping like this, so you don't have to go through the slow climb up animation. And also the way down, thankfully, is very safe to just make a safety drop, except for the very bottom level. It will make sense, I promise. So this will be our 3rd prayer wheel, if my count is correct, and there'll be 2 more to go. And we are essentially past the halfway point of the level, and, you know guys, just let me know, in case you've never experienced this level in the past, just how are you finding it so far? Because, in my opinion, it's really the best this game has to offer. It's truly magnificent. All these side dungeons are just so vastly different, and not just mechanically, but visually too. I mean, I'm falling in love with this level the more I play it, really. And it was so much fun to just explore it when I was a kid. When I was too terrified to just go anywhere, I was just hanging around the main hall all the time and enjoying the fact that there are bookshelves and teapots and things like that, you know? It was kind of like Lara's home in that regard, but further away from home. Now for this one, grab the ladders. Safety drop might not be entirely safe for that height. Okay, and let's just do a quick check. Yep, 3 prayer wheels. And also, we still have 1 gemstone. This is actually going to be used for the top of the Chenzik statue, okay, in the main hall. So, let's now get back inside, and essentially, we'll use the staircase where the battle did not take place this time around to make it back into the main hall. And soon, we're gonna trigger this game's most evil trap gauntlet, which actually is gonna be a lot of fun to master, okay? So back to the Corridor of Doom, and we just need to move this crate out of the way so that we can exit. That's it. Another self-contained dungeon, well, side dungeon completed. Very satisfying. Okay, and we already took care of the monks here and also Bartoli's henchman's ambush. Although for some reason the corpses disappeared. Yeah, okay. For a while expecting them to just spawn again or something crazy like that, but no, the corpses just up and disappeared. Now, for here I recommend sticking to the right side, and there is a achievement called Per Aspera Ad Astra, which I think in Latin means through hardship we reach the stars. And that's a very fitting name, because this is quite the hardship, okay? So let me make a save here, and let me guide you through this gauntlet of doom. So first of all, as you approach the tile before the fire, it will go out. And there's a very specific timing you need to do in order not to get hit by those spiky sacks, okay? So, we need to be standing on the very edge of this tile with the fire, and the moment the sack is closest to us, start running forward. And its swinging momentum is going to give us just enough time to fall down into this hole, okay? I think it's better if I show you in practice. There we go. Awesome. And we did it without taking damage. Now wait for the wheel to pass again. Again, on the right side you'll have a bit more time. The flame will go out. And from the edge of this thing, let's fall down again. Wonderful. And now I would actually recommend going to the left side and now jump up much faster than climbing. Use the hidey hole over here. And there we go. Oh, and by the way, the achievement doesn't just ask you to make it through the gauntlet without taking damage, it asks you to get the second secret too, right? You need to do it properly. There's no avoiding it. Okay, it's a bit tricky as it hides the view from us as well when it closes. Okay, and quickly, Lara, sneak in there. Awesome, we did it! The achievement will unlock upon you picking up the key over here, so don't panic. There we go, Per Aspera Ad Astra, go through the obstacles to the trapdoor key with a Jade Dragon. That's where the achievement cuts off. Now, the key we picked up is a trapdoor key. I talked about this briefly in the main hall. It's the trapdoor leading to the outside, to sort of the watchtower, okay? So the reward for this gauntlet, in fact, is not a prayer wheel, okay? But there's a little tunnel here, now leading to the cistern filled with water. We'll actually need to empty it, okay? So that we can move the block over here, and behind it is a prayer wheel. Can we get a sneak peek? Yes, we absolutely can. Awesome. So yeah, in the tunnel over here, there is a stone dragon. By the way, once you empty the cistern, you won't be able to fill it up again, okay? So you need to grab the stone dragon. Now, your reward will be the one of the best kind, and that's M16 clips. Truly wonderful, okay? Now, the order in which you can collect the secrets, I mean, it's entirely up to you, but I guess this is the most efficient way to get the one inside the statue, the golden one, and then do the trap gauntlet with the Jade Dragon, which will lead into the filled cistern with the stone dragon. That's essentially it, okay? Alrighty. Back to the main hall. Thankfully no new enemies yet, and again, conveniently named key, and I really appreciate it when they're actually named and tell us what they're for. Otherwise it would be the color scheme that would give it away. See the blue and red keyhole? This will now lead outside. Now we need to be very careful, because the moment we climb up we'll be ambushed by an angry monk. And oh, by the way, there's a crack in the ceiling giving us a little bit of light. What a cool detail. Okay, for this I don't want to use a grenade, so maybe I'll regret it. That was a bit of a close call. Shame we couldn't do so without the awkward fall into the pit. By the way, again, if you're doing for the end doesn't justify the means achievement and the monk will not be hostile, make sure to open this door before going anywhere. This will release 2 of Bartoli's henchmen. Take care of them and keep the monk safe. Okay, one is quite in the distance. Lara, can you kill him? Nice! Okay, we took a little bit of damage. Oh, by the way, I don't think I've talked about this. Yeah, the automatic pistol clips and Uzi clips over here are again a new addition to the remasters. In the original, these were not dropped by these 2 hoodlums, okay? And I just realized we still haven't taken a picture of a monk. Well, we still have one final one we can take a picture with later on. So anyway, take care of Bartoli's henchmen. Provided this monk is alive, you need to wait for him to enter behind this door and then just please close the door behind him, okay? This will keep him safe from 2 Bartoli henchmen that will appear here at a later date, and this way you'll prevent a battle outside of your control to take place where the monk is very likely to die, okay? So that's just a bit of a hint if you're gonna do it without using sort of a glitch I'll show you at the end of the video. But like I said, it's really not worth the bother. Maybe it is worth the butter, who knows. Okay, and you know what? I'm not gonna talk through the lovely chant over here. And that takes care of that. So we managed to take a picture of the very last monk in the level. There'll be no more after this point. It's really interesting because usually I find that this monk is actually not hostile, despite the fact that all of them are inside the monastery. But this time he was. Huh. But sometimes it can happen even though the monks are hostile, this guy will not be, and I always understood it as the fact that he's isolated inside this watchtower and not really being aware of the goings-on inside the monastery, okay? Make sure to make a safety drop here, it's quite a long fall, alright? Now I think there'll be only 3 more hoodlums for us to take care of, and we're in a good position to not use a medpack anymore, we'll see. Although using a large medpack, that's not, I think, something to be proud of. Anywho, let's wait for him here. Wonderful. There we go. Ahahu giga. Just, it's... I don't know whoever came up with this being an appropriate dying sound, but I'm so glad they agreed to this. It's brilliant. It's a work of art. The voice direction is just top-notch and phenomenal. By the way, just felt like pointing this out, we've been on the other side of this wooden barrier towards the beginning of the level, when doing our very first challenge for the first prayer wheel. How far we've come since. Again, love it when levels loop in on themselves like this. And by the way, this column was just perfectly round. Here it's chiseled in a more sort of natural way, okay? By the way, it's a large, perhaps confusing area, but it's completely empty, devoid of any objects, okay? And really the only way I find of descending safely down is using the ladder again. This is quite the drop, so do not even try to make a safety drop here. Instead, grab the ladder. I'm traumatized by a memory when I tried to grab the ladder from a not good enough angle and I just ended up falling down and breaking Lara's neck. And I don't know why that single memory has stuck with me for such a long time. Okay, M16 again. And there's gonna be a hoodlum over there in the distance. The moment you start shooting at him, strangely enough, he's gonna start running away. Probably because he can't figure out a way to Lara. And that's it, we just scared him off like that. Let's switch to our Uzis. Because he's not alone, there's two of them. Oh, see? I was about to say, could you die already, please? Huh, this is risky, but... By the way, these drops, the M16 clips from this guy, and also his companion over here, these are again new to the remasters, okay? So this way, we have covered all 5 new goodies, raising the number from 44 to 49 in the remastered version of the Barkhang Monastery. What's more, we finally have 4 prayer wheels. There's one final one we need to take care of, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is a corridor we ignored ever since we entered the Grand Hall, but it's something I always like to keep as sort of the final footnote of the level, because it's going to make us scale that impressive statue we've been walking around this entire time. I don't know why, it just has this sort of finale-like feeling for me. But you can essentially do it as soon as you get your hands on the gemstones and the rooftops. Just, again, be careful. It's gonna lead you to draining the water out of the cistern, so make sure you have the stone dragon first, okay? There really are a billion ways in which you can tackle this level, another reason why I love it so much. But what I'm showing you is really just my favorite, yours might differ. Someone has to actually climb here and light these all the time. That's a brutal thought, really. Now let's just make a standing grabbing jump here. Anything else and Lara would break her neck. And again, I just love this, the tiny little gemstone, and suddenly, plop, triple its size. Now this trapdoor that the camera angle showed us is actually under the statue. It's an area I haven't showed you yet, and I guess it can be pretty damn confusing. Oh, by the way, descending the statue is... whoa. It's weird, okay? So first of all, I would recommend making a side flip to the right, and now slide down, grab, and drop safely, okay? That's the best way I found. I think this is... oh, it's not slippery. Awesome. And this is actually quite a drop. See, there's an entire corridor here, and we find ourselves under the statue. I don't know why, I love how well lit this room is. It's so realistic and immersive. Now, beyond this corridor, we are gonna find ourselves next to a pump attached to the ancient cistern, okay? And that's just something I absolutely have to show you. I mean, in the original, they thought this would pass as a wheel that you can turn, this square. That's actually what was there. I remember it very vividly, and, well, I wanted to say fondly, but not quite. I'm so glad they finally fixed this for a reasonable wheel. I feel like they could have pulled that off even in the original. This doesn't drain the cistern, however. It only opens the door to the source of the water. And my god, isn't this wonderful? So, the stream is actually twisting and turning on this tile over here, whereas before it would just instantly change direction. Furthermore, we finally see the source of the water. We can even take a sneak peek like this, but that's the best we can do, okay? So it clearly leads somewhere outside. Now what you are supposed to do when traversing this awkward terrain is to just stop it using the block over here, okay? So let's do that right away. And there we go. The water stream has disappeared and the cistern is now devoid of water altogether. However, perhaps surprisingly enough, if you remove the crate back, and you should re-enable the stream, right? Well, actually, no. I don't exactly understand why that's the case, but suddenly there's no water flowing there. And if you switch to the original graphics, you can still see the animated water on that particular wall tile, okay? But nothing will ever come out of it. So it's like the spring has just ran dry or something. I don't know. Ah, the judgmental door is still there. Okay. Anywho, now that we have the stone dragon, we have no use for the water anymore, and we can finally get this block out of the way and get our hands on the final prayer wheel, okay? So this doesn't have to be the final prayer wheel you get, maybe the one in the watchtower could be the final one, it really depends, up to you. But this is the way I do it. Again, scaling the statue just feels like such a grandiose moment, and I like to keep it for the very final one. Okay. And I'm just gonna do a quick check, once we climb up this ladder, if we have all the kills and all the goodies. This is gonna be very important. 49, 52, ah, wonderful. And all 3 secrets, of course. And we have used 1 large med pack, which maybe we could have done fine with just a small one, looking at our health bar, but you know, you never know these things in advance. Besides, with a larger health bar, I feel like I'm more brave to do things that might pay off, rather than with a small flashing one. Okie dokie. And now, for the fun part, we're gonna put all those prayer wheels into their receptacles and leave this empty monastery devoid of life. My god, that's brutal. So, it says prayer wheels. When we come down to the very final prayer wheel, I'm curious if it will still say so in the plural or not. Let me check that real quick. And behind this double door, you'll find out the reason why Maria Doria was bombed and shipwrecked. And it's gonna be incredibly underwhelming. Oh, by the way, I just thought like pointing it out. The texture on the prayer wheel slots is the same as applied on the gemstones in the original. They fixed it here to give them unique textures, but here it's the gemstones applied there. I'm not really sure what the thought process was there, but there you go. Okay, and we're down to the final one, so let's see if it will say prayer wheels. Yep, it says prayer wheels all the time. Okay. And there we go. This door hasn't been open in centuries. It's such a great feeling only Tomb Raider can evoke. And now, when you come here, you'll realize what the Seraph was all about. So the monks have been keeping it in a separate shrine with the leg traps, right? That's where it was stolen for by imbecile vagabonds, as spoken by Brother Cheng Barkhang centuries ago. They were keeping it safe away from this keyhole because this will reveal the grand entrance into the catacombs of Talion, which contain the key to the Temple of Xi'an, guarded by its own separate guardian entity. Let's see, were all those deaths in the wreck of Maria Doria worth this? Yeah, so, I mean, I love this level, it's my most favorite, but this is so disappointing. I would expect a large golden wheel to move aside, like the Dharma Chakra one at the rooftops, or some magical barrier to dissipate. Instead, the whole point of this object, for which so many innocent people died, is this wooden panel. Yeah. I think this is where ludonarrative dissonance kicks in, you know, where the gameplay and the narrative actually are rather different and don't really fit together well. Nevertheless, I'm gonna make a save here, and let's take a look at our statistics. We've earned a break. There we go. 50 minutes. Now the actual video is going to be much longer. By the way, in case you've been ever wondering why there's such a discrepancy between the length of a video and what you see in game, even in cases where I didn't reload or replay certain passages, that's because of photo mode. When you enter photo mode, you essentially pause the game, right? When you open up your inventory, the time still passes, the time taken statistic that is. But if you open up photo mode, it does not. So that's essentially the pause button of the remasters. Just thought like pointing it out. Now we have found all 3 secrets, got our hands on all 49 pickups, including the 5 new ones, the large health pack, automatic pistol clips, Uzi clips, and 2 pairs of M16 clips. We have killed 2 armies, all 52 enemies. That's essentially 24 of Bartoli's hoodlums, 22 monks, and 6 ravens in this level. And we have used one large medpack, but given what we've been through, I think it was well deserved. If you let monks help you and not have them hostile, I think you have a much better chances of keeping this level without using a medpack if you're so inclined, okay? Now, we have still not unlocked one of the achievements. Again, the end doesn't justify the means, so let me show you what I think is the easiest way to unlock this achievement, which still doesn't make it easy, and it can take roughly 10 minutes. Let's see, let's do a dive into that right now. Okay, here we are back at the beginning, and just like before, the first fight is absolutely crucial to determine your success, okay? Okay, just remain locked onto an enemy the moment you notice Lara did the right thing. Wonderful. Now, accessing the monastery without the ladder, using the tricky jump I've shown you before for the unexpected visit achievement, is the faster way to do it, so let's do just that. Thank you, Lara. Your aim was pretty good this time around. And now we'll be breaking into it again. I actually already... This is my second attempt at this achievement. I had great fun because I realized, of course, I'm not recording at all and I already made a save. So you will see our saves count increased even further, which is always unfortunate and annoys me to no end. Anywho, we mastered this jump now. Let's take pleasure in that fact. And now, let's make sure to clear out the other room from the hoodlum that will engage via the window, okay? Normally you could ignore this room altogether, but the moment you approach the corridor with the ladder, reaching to the ceiling, another hoodlum will appear in this room, so you want the monk to be facing one, not two of them. There we go. We'll hear gunfire soon. Very nice, Lara. Thank you. None of the monks are hostile. That's your check that you are still on the track. And there are no monk corpses or anything like that, although sometimes that can be easy to miss, alright? Now, as we approach the ladder, we'll pick up the main hall key. Main hall is actually going to be the crucial point where a lot can go wrong, because if everything went according to the plan, you'll have 3 Bartoli's henchmen fighting off 5 monks and Lara, right? So that's a point where I recommend you save. Our objective, in order to complete this level as soon as possible, something I'm going to also use for the time trial, is to get our hands on at least one prayer wheel. It doesn't really matter which prayer wheel you will choose, okay? But since we need the main hall key anyway, we might as well get the prayer wheel that's adjacent to it, okay? Oh my god, did we almost fall? I hate these monks so much. They are evil. No one's gonna convince me otherwise, okay? So, let's let the first boulder roll. And now on to the second one, which is unfortunate. I wish we could just, you know, ignore them. I guess you could jump over them, but not with a sloping steep quite like this. Lara wouldn't get that high up. If it'd be almost equal level ground, then it could be possible. Okay, now the jacuzzi of death. Let's see. Just saying the word jacuzzi makes me want to play Sims. Oh my. Okay. Now onto the dark corridor where I've never managed to swan dive. Needs a greater distance than that. Nevertheless, you already know this corridor. Just keep a flare on and it will be fairly predictable. Stop. The second one you can always just run through because the timing is perfect for that. And the third one you'll need to stop it again, okay? They do not all activate at the same time. They only activate via a tile a couple of squares ahead of them, right? So that's why the timing is kind of always the same if you just keep running forward, because you'll go over the same trigger point at roughly the same speed every single time, if that makes sense. Okay, now there's a monk and there'll be 2 hoodlums. Let's make sure we do not spawn the appearance of both of them at the same time, but only one and then another. Okay, and the second one is around the corner. Wonderful. Nice. We did a quick work of those guys. And now let's just hope that this brother will not push us into the fires, as he sometimes likes to do. It's his favorite pastime. Push intrepid explorers into fire pits. These guys are evil, like I keep saying. Okay, but the most important thing is that for the achievement he is alive, even those two in the purple corridor. Soon after we get this block out of the way and we're gonna climb the ladder, we're actually gonna approach one of the 2 points in this level where a battle will take place, but you do not get to participate. You will only see the outcome of that battle, right? So there's unfortunately nothing more you can do than just hope that once you climb up that ladder and reach the ceiling where we picked up the main hall key, that the monk will be alive and Bartoli's henchman will be dead. It's incredibly annoying that there are situations like these in the first place, but unfortunately I can't give you better advice. What we want to see once we make it out there is a monk peacefully patrolling and a dead Bartoli's henchman who dropped a large medpack, okay? If you'll see the henchman alive, and that has happened to me a couple of times, then you just need to retry this all over again, okay? So it will come down to good saving system more than anything. But I only want to save once. Well, I already did when I wasn't recording, but oh well. And I think we see a monk patrolling. That is very good. That means he won the fight against Bartoli's henchman. The henchman is now over here. He even dropped a large medpack. Nice. But we don't care about that right now. So let us open the door to the main hall and have sort of the final, most dangerous showdown. Really, all that matters is that you have one prayer wheel and you made it to the main hall and you can now finish the level. It doesn't matter which prayer wheel, okay? And I guess we'll see soon enough if all the monks survived. There are 2 in the purple corridor and there are going to be 3 more appearing once we enter the main hall. And I guess I'm once again going to get an M16 out for this. Okay, and let's save here. So like I said when I wasn't recording, I already made a save here, so we're gonna increase our saves count, which is very painful for me. Oh well. Okay, Lara, Bartoli's henchman, please. And one of the monks died. See how unpredictable this can be, even with our superior firepower? Let's try this again. And Lara shot at the monk again. Wonderful prioritizing, Lara. Let's try this yet again. I think we did it. So 3rd attempt. Now imagine the whole level playing like this. That's essentially the gist behind this achievement. It is incredibly annoying. I went through this once on PS4 and I never want to go through that again, which is why I'm showing you the easier way to do this, okay? So first of all, upon entering the room with the prayer wheel slots, you can just approach either one of these, it doesn't matter, and input your first prayer wheel, okay? It's what happens after that's important. Because if you open up your inventory manually and go up to the key items, the game thinks you have prayer wheels and your seraph is all messed up. And you can just select it, whatever it is, and put it in. So Lara's cloning the prayer wheels, what I think is actually happening, and it leads me to believe that's why the item is always called prayer wheels, no matter what the quantity is. The game will always think you have more. Now, it does a correct check if you approach the slot and press action to summon up your inventory, where it tries to auto-select the correct key item, but if you do it manually, that doesn't happen, and this way you can finish Barkhang Monastery very quickly. Outside of this achievement or time trial, I don't know why you would. It's such a great level, but there you have it. It's an option. I wanted to let you know about that. And honestly, it keeps the monks safe, so there's that. And now, funnily enough, if you try and do the same trick, so manually open up your inventory here, you will not be able to put in the seraph, right? You will see the seraph on screen, but it thinks it's a prayer wheel that you have selected. No. So Lara will say no, but if you press the action key, then it's all fine, okay? And from now on, if you access the inventory manually, no, still messed up. But now the seraph at least rotated. Now it doesn't. No. So it's a bit weird and finicky, but really, just to finish the level, press the action key, do not summon your inventory up here manually, and you're good and golden, okay? And that's it. We should now see the achievement popping up. Awesome. The end doesn't justify the means. Prevent the monks from being killed. Yay! So you can do this under 10 minutes, right? Using the same method I did and picking up the prayer wheel next to the main hall key in the ceiling. But yeah, you can choose any prayer wheel you want if you struggle with this particular challenge and you don't want to put the monk next to the fire traps at risk. I'm sure you have a large selection of prayer wheels to choose from. It doesn't really matter. So guys, I really hope this was helpful, okay? We have unlocked all 4 achievements and I showed you how to 100% the level. If you have qualms about killing any of the monks, I fully understand. But again, consider this practice for New Game Plus, because there all the monks will be hostile and much tougher. But if you want to just play the game once without killing the monks, you know what you have to do. Just save before every combat encounter if you don't have a problem with your saves count increasing, okay? So that's it. Let me know please if this was helpful and not confusing, hopefully. And I'm gonna see you guys next time when we delve into the actual catacombs that were guarded by the Seraph. I'm a bit sad that my most favorite level of the game is over, but there are some amazing levels down the line. This is Tomb Raider 2 after all. So I'm gonna see you next time, but not before thanking my amazing patrons. Blangupel, Mick, Severin Drax, Marek Malec and Katie Danger, thank you guys so much for being my Winstons and for treating Lara and myself to some of that Barkhang tea. It is a delicious blend. Next, a big thanks to my caretaker Winston, Michael McConkey. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and for treating all those bullet wounds, staff smacks and spear stabs from a particularly angry army of monks. Next, a very special thanks goes to my veteran Winston, Andrea Paviglianiti. Thank you so much for helping us overcome the impossible odds with the Barkhang Monastery strap gauntlet, and I actually hope you'll put that know-how into creating a much more interesting assault course for Lara at her home for her 3rd year. Maybe incorporate pistols into it. There's an idea. And finally, I would like to give a very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for keeping us in your prayers and also for holding your divine hand and protection over the monks, keeping them safe, awarding us the end doesn't justify the means achievement. With your help and the endless supply of prayer wheels, we've been able to pull it off. You've learned a lot in that freezer over time. And finally, thank you to everyone for watching, for making it this far, and again for your patience. This has been an absolute beast of a video in terms of research, recording, multiple attempts, and the editing. My goodness, the editing, but I am happy to do it as this was my most favorite level of the Tomb Raider 2, my most favorite game in the franchise. I hope it showed. In case you would like to support me further, feel free to check out my Patreon. All my content will always be free for everyone, but in case you do decide to support me, it will essentially mean I'll be able to afford to spend more time on these videos. More time on individual videos and their quality, and also more time making more videos in general. It's a dream that I'm on my way to achieving one day. And the least I can do for you really is to provide a shout out to you in each of my videos as long as you remain a supporter. So thank you very much. Please share your comments whether you love or hate this level or how you tackled it, whether you're in favor of destroying the monks or helping them out. I think canonically speaking, Lara teamed up with them. I think that's way more cooler plot point. But we're here for the statistics, and I'm here to show you how to get the dirty business done so that you don't have to. I hope you had a blast as much as I had making this video, and I'm gonna see you next time in the actual catacombs of the Talion. Happy raiding!